डियर स्टूडेंट, वेलकम टू माय चैनल। आज आपके साथ केमिस्ट्री 11 क्लास के मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट गैस पेपर शेयर किए जा रहे हैं। तमाम लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन और तमाम शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन आपके साथ शेयर किए जा रहे हैं। मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट है ये तमाम फुल एंड फाइनल गैस पेपर आपके साथ शेयर किया जा रहा है। तमाम चैप्टर के गैस पेपर आपके साथ शेयर किया जा रहा है। मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट चैप्टर नंबर 1 के शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन आपके साथ शेयर कर रहे हैं। हाउ N2 and CO हैव सेम नंबर ऑफ इलेक्ट्रॉन, प्रोटॉन एंड न्यूट्रॉन। सेकंड क्वेश्चन है, नो इंडिविजुअल neon atom in the sample of element has a mass of 20.18 amu. Justify. Question number 3, atomic mass or fraction. Justify. How limiting reactant control the amount of product formed. Question number 5, 32 gram of O2 and 28 gram of N2 and 16 gram of CH4 have different masses but some same volume. Why actual yield is always lesser than the theoretical yield. Law of conservation of mass has to be obeyed during the trigonometric calculation. Explain. Question number 8, 1 mole of H2SO4 should completely react with 2 molecules of NOH. How does Avogadro number help us to explain it? Question number 9, calculate the mass of 5.136 mole of Ag2CO3. Question number 10, what are the molecular ion, how they are formed, give their application, how the efficiency of chemical reaction to determine. Question chapter number 2 के short question है, why NaCl cannot be purified by crystallization. Question number 13, how crystal are dried vacuum decanter to save to renewable method during the crystals. How colorful impurities are removed from crystal during crystallization. Chapter 2 के short question है. Question number 15, gives the use of chromography. Differentiate between the absorption and purification of chromatography. Define the sublimation with an example. Why concentrated HCl and KMnO4 cannot be filtered by a gauge crucible. Repeated excretion using the small portion of solvent are more efficient than using a single excretion. Why? चैप्टर नंबर 3 है. क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 चैप्टर नंबर 3 का, गैसेस behave ideally at low pressure and high temperature. Explain. Calculate value of R SI unit. Water evaporation do not behave at 273 Kelvin. Why? Question number 23, what are the significance of van der Waal constant? Differentiate between the diffusion and effusion. Do you think that some of postulate of kinetic molecular theory are faulty? Point out these postulates. Differentiate between the natural and artificial plasma. How plasma is formed. Explain the application of Dalton law of respiration. Next chapter number 4 के short question है, why there is a big difference in the physical state of halogens or we move from fluorine to iodine. Food is cooked quickly in pressure cooker. Why one feel sense of cooling under the fan after bath. Boiling need a constant supply of heat. Explain. Diamond is hard and electrical insulator. Explain. Why graphic is conductor parallel to its layer, not perpendicular. Cleavage itself is an isotopic property. Why ionic crystals are highly volatile. Question number 4 चैप्टर नंबर 4 के ये तमाम शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन थे आपके साथ शेयर किए हैं. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन चैप्टर नंबर 5 है, वाई पॉजिटिव रे आर आल्सो कॉल्ड कैनार रे. हाउ डू यू कम टू नाउ द velocities of electron in orbit closer to the nucleus are higher than those in higher orbit. Differentiate between atomic emission and atomic absorption spectrum. What is the Zeeman effect? What is the Stark effect? Why the EM value of cathode ray is just equal to electron state Pauli exclusion principle. Differentiate between atomic emission and atomic absorption spectrum. Differentiate between the continuous spectrum and line spectrum. Justify the distance gap between the different orbits go on increasing from lower to higher orbit. Write two properties of neutron. ये तमाम चार्ट क्वेश्चन है चैप्टर नंबर 5 के मोस्ट इम्पोर्टेंट है टू द पॉइंट गेस्ट पेपर आपके साथ शेयर किया जा रहा है। इन तमाम को आप तैयार करके अपने पेपर की तैयारी को मुकम्मल कर सकते हैं और अपने फुल नंबर हासिल कर सकते हैं। चैप्टर नंबर 6 के शार्ट क्वेश्चन है बॉन्ड डिस्टेंस इज द compromise distance between two atoms. Justify why second ionization energy is always greater than first ionization energy. No bond in chemistry in 100 ionic. Why the energy of bonding molecule orbit is lesser than anti-bonding molecular orbitals. Ionic bonds are non-directional. Justify define dipole moment. What is the limitation of Vesper theory? The ionization of group second A higher than the third A. Why oxygen is paramagnet in nature? Sigma bond is stronger than pi bond. Explain. Pi bond are more diffuse than sigma bond. Explain. Define dipole moment. The dipole moment of CO2 and CS2 are 0, but the SO2 is 1.61 dy. Chapter number 7 है explain the burning of candle in spontaneous process. Define enthalpy of neutralization with an example. State first law of thermodynamic volume in a static function. Justify. Define the entropy and of ionization with an example. Define entropy of solution. Differentiate between the spontaneous and non-spontaneous reaction. State burn Haber cycle. नेक्स्ट चैप्टर नंबर 8 के शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन आपके साथ शेयर कर रहे हैं द solubility of glucose in water is increased by increasing temperature. Explain how the direction of reaction is prediction by equal constant. Define pH and pOH. What is ionic product of water? Solubilities of depressed by the addition of common ion. State law cheater principle. What is the solubility product? What is the solubility product? Expression of PbCl2. Define buffer capacity. Higher pressure favor the reaction in which the air is decreased the volume. What are the acidic buffers? Give an example. चैप्टर नंबर 8 के शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन है ये तमाम। चैप्टर नंबर 9 1 mole solution is more dilute than the 1 molar solution. Justify. Define the parts per million. The sum of mole fraction of all component is unity. Justify. Why is the vapor pressure of solution is less than the pure solution? State the Reutel's law. NaCl and KCl is used at lower melting point of ice. Justify. Molality is independent of temperature, but molarity depends on temperature. Why? What are the zeotropes? Give an example. Define the colligative properties. Name any two colligative properties. Beckmann's thermometer is used to note the depression in freezing point. Why? Next chapter number 10 है what is the function of salt buried in voltaic cell? How sodium metal is prepared by dawn cell? Calculate the oxidation number of chromium. And how impure copper can be purified by electrolysis? A salt bridge maintain the electrical neutrality. Explain what is the function of salt bridge in voltaic cell. How electrochemical series can help us to determine the whether a reaction is feasible or not. Na and K is replaced hydrogen from acid, but PT, PB and Cu cannot. Why? Lead accumulator rechargeable justify. Write down the reaction happening in fuel cell. Write down the advantages of fuel cell over other batteries. Next chapter number 11 है define reaction of kinetics. Rate the reaction is our changing parameter. Justify the radioactivity decay is always the first order reaction. Justify for photochemical reaction are usually zero order reaction. Justify how half-life of chemical reaction is related with initial concentration of reactant. How order of determined by the method of large axis. How surface area affect the rate of chemical reaction. Give an example. How rate the affected by light. Differentiate between the homogeneous and heterogeneous catalysis. A catalyst does not affect the equilibrium constant. Justify a catalyst is specific in nature. Justify define catalytic poisoning. What is the negative catalyst? Give an example. What is autocatalyst? Give an example. ये तमाम चैप्टर के शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन आपके साथ शेयर किए हैं. नेक्स्ट लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन आपके साथ शेयर कर रहे हैं. व्हाट इज द डाल्टन लॉ ऑफ पार्शियल प्रेशर. आल्सो डिस्कस इट्स एप्लीकेशन. 1 mole of methane is maintained at 30 Kelvin. Its volume is 250 centimeter cube. Calculate the pressure exerted by the gas when it considered an ideal gas. Calculate the mass of 1 dm cube of NH3 gas at 30 centigrade and the 100 mmHg pressure. Considering the NH3 is behaving ideally. Give 8 postulate of kinetic molecular theory. What is the hydrogen bonding? Discuss hydrogen bonding in biological compound. How does the hydrogen bonding explain the formation of ice lesser density than liquid water? Define liquid crystal. Discuss important use of liquid crystal. Write down the properties of ionic salt. Explain the Rutherford model of atom. Give its defect. Define quantum number. Discuss purify and azimuthal quantum number. Give the different postulate of Bohr atomic model. Write down the main postulate of valence shell electron pair repulsion theory and discuss the structure of NH3 with reference of this theory. Purify, explain shapes of NH3 and H2O molecule according to hybridizing theory. What bounds formation is not possible between two HA atoms. Prove with molecular orbital theory. Describe bomb calorimeter. Define and explain Hazel law of constant heat submission with example. Define the following terms: volatility, mole fraction and part per billion. What is the Raoult's law? Give its three statements. Describe one method to determine the boiling point of elevate salts. State rules of assigning oxidation number of element with example. Write the construction and working of voltaic cell. Describe the electrolysis of molten sodium chloride and concentrated solution of sodium chloride. Give for industrial importance of electrolysis process in detail. What is the electrochemical series? Give its four application. How light and surface are affect the rate of reaction. Write four characteristic of catalyst. How does Arrhenius equation help us to calculate the energy of activation of reaction? Define half-life period and other order of reaction. Describe the half-life method to determine the order or reaction. डियर स्टूडेंट, ये तमाम शॉर्ट क्वेश्चन और तमाम लॉन्ग क्वेश्चन आपके साथ शेयर किए हैं. फुल एंड फाइनल गेस्ट पेपर है, मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट. केमिस्ट्री का 11th क्लास मोस्ट इम्पॉर्टेंट गैस पेपर है। इन तमाम को आप तैयार करके अपने पेपर की तैयारी को मुकम्मल कर सकते हैं और पूरे नंबर हासिल कर सकते हैं। अगर आपको हमारी वीडियो अच्छी लगी है प्लीज़ लाइक करें, हमारे चैनल को सब्सक्राइब करें। मिलते हैं नेक्स्ट वीडियो में नए टॉपिक के साथ। अपना ख्याल रखिएगा। अल्लाह हाफिज़।